Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a Division 1 match in the Serenity Gaming Wintersplit between Serenity Gaming Virgo and Hillerød Esports. I'm Kachka, and I'm joined tonight by the Let's See.
Hey Kaska, so this is going to be a pretty interesting game. We have one of the top teams in the entire league, Hillerød Esports, going up against Virgo, so it's going to be pretty fun to watch these two teams go at each other.
Oh, that is for sure, because well, Hillerød, they are looking very strong, and Virgo, they have been pretty consistent so far, but the big question on my mind is can they perform against the likes of Hillerød, who in the first half have been very dominant, and even though the roster has been changed ever so slightly, I do not expect any less of them.
That's right, they do have some pretty great players on their team, especially their jungler Alpha Aloe. He has been performing very consistently throughout the whole league. He plays a lot of gank-heavy, tanky junglers. We see a Mumu and Gragas and Sejuani, and it's going to be pretty cool to watch him perform now. And that definitely isn't to mean that Hillerød has any slackers on their team. Their whole lineup is just very competent and very consistent. So keep an eye on these junglers go at each other, because this Hidden Shadow guy on Hillerød, he plays more active junglers. He doesn't play as many tanky junglers, so he plays more like Kindred and Nocturne and Xin Zhao. So it's going to be interesting to see these two different jungling styles go up against each other.
That will be for sure one of the places we have to look at. And you know, in general, I feel like Virgo, they want to prove themselves against a strong team like Hillerød, because that roster, it has been built for the LCD, which means that it is a strong one. It is a very strong one, and Virgo right now, they are sitting in the middle of the table, and if you want to contest for those near the top spots, well then beating Hillerød is probably one of the better ways in which you can achieve that.
Yeah, so like I said, keep an eye on the junglers. They're going to be the ones to really decide the pacing of this game. And yeah, Virgo, they have a little bit of something to prove here. They want to show that they deserve a spot in their Division 1, and taking down one of the highest teams is certainly one way to do that. And if they manage to take this win, that will definitely secure them as one of the top players in this field. So it's going to be pretty exciting to see all of this happen. So let's talk more about some of these individual players, what we're expecting to see on the side of Virgo. If we look at their bot lane, really standard stuff: Ezreal, Kai'Sa, Lucian, possibly a Vayne, and usually with a Thresh or a Braum and a Nami from Beta Benner. So pretty standard bot lane from Virgo. And the only thing that's really a little bit different in the side of Hillerød is that Villadsen, the ADC for Hillerød, he does play a lot of Jhin, so we may be seeing that, and also some Varus as well, which we don't really get to see enough of from either of those. And Tauber, he plays a little bit of Zyra and Leona, which we don't see a whole lot either. So definitely keeping an eye open on Hillerød in that bot lane will be pretty interesting.
Definitely, because Tower, him as a support player just for himself, he has been so versatile. You mentioned just some of the picks he's playing, like Thresh, Leona, Zyra, you said. He has been also picking it up lately from what I have seen. He has played also stuff like Vel'Koz and Gragas on support, so that guy is definitely versatile. And the AD carries, as you have mentioned, they're fairly standard, normal AD carry players, just playing the champions that are kind of the staple mark of that position. So bot lane will be interesting to see which one of those duos will actually come out on the top and how they can use that. And I feel like whenever you talk about the lane, it ties into the jungle, and you know, with Hidden Shadow playing more of these, like he's being very aggressive, it could also allow the bot lane or literally any other lane for Hillerød to be just so dominant in the laning phase.
So I mean, bot lane is so important in this game. You really have to nurture it throughout the game and make sure that it can do the job that it needs to, because if it falls off throughout the game, stuff like that, if it can't really get up to snuff, it can really put a team behind. And if a bot lane gets very far ahead, then that means that that can really propel a team into victory, being able to get it to the point where it needs to be. And let's talk about the top lane a little bit. So NZ on the side of Hillerød, there are some interesting things happening there. So not only does he play your standard, your Scion, and Yorick, but he also plays Cassiopeia and Lysandra and Akali and Vlad, things that you usually don't see top lane. And if we look at the side of Virgo, Pacers, he plays more brawling champions with Yasuo and Riven and Fiora, and he has a very low kill participation percentage, which means that he usually just stays in his lane. So he's more just focusing on split pushing and getting to the point where he can 1v1 anyone who comes into his lane, just because he has an insane amount of farm. So that can be pretty difficult to deal with in the right hands. So we're going to have to just watch that and see how that plays out.
Right, and just a little bit of info, the teams aren't in the lobby, or actually quite specifically Virgo is here but isn't quite yet, so we will be waiting a few more minutes for that before we will jump in the draft phase. So, you know, we get just more time to talk about the game, and the only matchup that we haven't really touched on yet is that mid lane. We have Shim up against In Your Face, and Shim, he has swapped to mid lane a few months back. I actually remember him playing AD carry, and ever since he has done so, he has been doing a good job at punishing whatever mid laner he has been up against. And on the other side, In Your Face, so far, he has been a very consistent mid laner that has been just farming up, getting the kills when needed, and being with his team when they need him.
Absolutely. And also, if Hillerød does take too long, then chances are they're actually going to be losing a ban during the banning phase, so they definitely do not want that. But maybe they're just so confident in their performance that they think they don't need that ban. I guess we'll just have to figure that out as we go. But absolutely, this is going to be a pretty interesting matchup. See if Virgo has something up their sleeve, because if we just look at this on paper, Hillerød seems to be better in almost every aspect. So unless Virgo has an interesting strategy to specifically deal with Hillerød, I think they're going to have a really rough time, because it seems like they'll be able, if Virgo is playing the same game that Hillerød is, then chances are they're not going to just perform as well on a base level. So they have to do something different.
Right, I mean, I agree. You definitely cannot just go up against the likes of Hillerød with whatever you conventionally have, because they are just so strong. Still, we don't have any information on when they could be right now. We are still waiting for anything, and so we have just more time to buy. So actually, I want to talk about something that maybe isn't the biggest topic for a fourth week or so. However, it is the standings, because Hillerød currently they are sitting on 6 points behind Onyx and Topaz. They are in the 3rd spot, whereas Virgo, they are sitting on 4 points in the middle. And the thing is, if Hillerød managed to secure a clean 2-0, then that could really put them in the contention for the top 2 spots.
So, I mean, that's what Hillerød, that's where they are right now, is either 1st or 2nd place. So if Virgo manages to pull out a win here, then that's going to not only propel Virgo up the ladder quite a bit, but it's also going to bring Hillerød down. They want to get through this with as many wins as possible. If just one loss could end up costing their 1st or 2nd spot to someone else, another team that just performed better when they needed to. And because we are going to be having the finals this season, I believe we're talking about having it actually be a LAN. So you definitely don't want to miss out on any of that.
You definitely do not, and you know that is something of a long-term project, just making sure you get that playoff spots, and it really does start now, because if you can get if you can get your team the points they need, then it will be just so much more easy for you to be in a position later on into this split. So once again, we do not have any information about Hillerød. There is a possibility of us maybe going into another match that is going right now, but that is still being discussed, and you know, we'll update you as soon as the information comes.
Now, these things do happen. It is important for teams to be able to get in when they're asked to. We have had issues with this before, so it is a little bit annoying that it is what it is, but that's Hillerød's prerogative, I guess. If they want to forfeit this match, then that is up to them. Don't see why they would, but moving on from that, I mean,
yeah,
we've already talked about why these teams are good and why we want to see them play, and we're just kind of now waiting to actually be able to see them play.
Yeah, and it always sucks when one of the teams isn't quite there on time, because we just get so much time to fill in which we haven't really prepared for. But yeah, I kind of agree with you. Like, we talked about why we want to see both of these teams. Hopefully we will get it in time. We are still waiting for any official decisions about what is going to happen. So right now we really don't have anything extra for you, as you know, we just await anything.
And we're just keeping an eye on everything going on in the chats. We've messaged the individual players, trying to get a hold of them. Who knows where they are? Maybe that was not communicated to them that they had a match today, or maybe they just forgot. It does happen. But it seems like it would be weird for all of them to forget at once. So we're just trying to keep up with what is going on.
We are, and I think we will just go into this short break so that we can actually discuss what will happen next. So guys, do not go anywhere. We will get back to you as soon as possible. Alright guys, we've got some news. So apparently, Hillerød will have kind of forgotten about the match, and therefore they have to forfeit it, for reasons that I don't think I want to have specified. Which is tough, but you know, Virgo at least they get the technically the 2-0 win, which, hey, it helps them. So something we talked about was relevant.
Yeah, I mean, if they're now further up the league than they might have been if the match actually played out. So that is an aspect of this that we have to consider. It's a little bit disappointing that we didn't actually get to see this match play out, since I always do enjoy seeing Hillerød play. But I mean, that's just kind of how the cookie crumbles sometimes.
It just is, and just for your information guys, we decided not to stream the other match, since neither me nor the Litzy have really looked into either of these teams, and casting a match like that, it will just, we decided it is in the best interest that we will not do that. So this stream will now go offline. Thank you for giving us your 20 minutes of your life, and we're sorry to take it for you for not really any reason at all.
Yeah, well, you know who to blame.